Good morning, everybody. AJ, the CEO here. And why is my camera not moving? Hold on. Good morning, everybody. AJ, the CEO. We're back from, I guess we would call it a vacation. Need another one. But we're back, folks. I'm glad to see y'all. Glad y'all are here. Glad y'all didn't forget about me. And hey, what we try to do every Friday when I'm here is to try and have a Q&A to try and answer your questions as best as possible. I don't know everything, folks. I am quick to tell you that I don't know everything, but I just want to have a place that if you have any media ministry questions, I could try and answer what I do know, or at least steer you in a direction. Or better yet, we have a community that we form so that we can actually share the knowledge in between each other. That's why I always recommend. It's great that y'all are here. But if you ever want to ask some questions with like-minded people that are in media ministry, highly recommend that you go ahead and go to Facebook and look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, answer the 3 questions, and you are a part of a community with people with like-minded spirits to try and move forward and share the knowledge, to share the message of Jesus Christ throughout the world, leveraging technology as best as we possibly can. Just don't live stream inside the group and you're good to go. Don't advertise. Don't do none of that stuff because we'll kick you out really quick. It's meant to be a community to ask questions and to help. Again, like I said, my name is AJ, the CEO, AJ Holmes. Some people call me Dr. AJ. I don't go by that much. I guess I should, since I was blessed with a title for that. But anyway, we're here. No, folks, if I don't get a chance to get to your question, you can email me at questions@ajholmes.com. Give me 48 to 72 hours to respond. And if we go back and forth with emails, more than 3 to 4 emails, I would highly recommend that you go ahead and book a consultation with me. You can go to ajholmes.com/consultations. You can book a Zoom, phone call, on sites. We do travel, folks, especially when it comes to traveling. We've gone as far as Ireland, London, California. We haven't been to Hawaii yet. I'm waiting for that one. That's going to be awesome. But we do travel. If you need something like that, especially if it's over 4 hours away, email and we'll set up something to handle the details with all the other fun stuff. What else am I forgetting? Because I want to get all this other stuff out of the way. We hit 63,700 subscribers. Thank you so much for that. I think it's at 720 right now. But I have promised all of y'all in the community, every 10,000 subscribers, we're giving away 2 bundles. One is either a $2,000 bundle or 2 $1,000 bundles. It all depends. We rotate that, and the $1,000 bundle is based on the mini PC, the camera, and all this other stuff that we've done before in the previous video. The $2,000 bundle is the one where it's an A10 Mini Extreme, PTZ camera, PoE switch, all this other stuff. If you're interested in entering into that, you can go to this link. It is in the description of this video as well. And I think that is, yeah, and it's in the description. If you've already entered, don't worry about it. You're already in there. If you are a Patreon supporter, if you're a YouTube member, your name is already entered twice. You don't need to enter again. My database filters out people who've been entered in there multiple times, so there's no reason to cheat the system. We're going to be doing that every 10,000 subscribers that we get. So when we hit 70,000, we're going to be doing a giveaway all the way up to $250,000. That is my way of giving back. I'm tired of just talking about problems and everybody's talking about problems. This is me trying to actually do something about it. So there is no, you don't need to buy nothing from me. You don't even need to be a subscriber. This is just my way of trying to help. So anyway, I think I've blabbed enough. Let's go ahead and holler at some folks here. Lamar, hey, good morning to you, sir. Anthony, what is going on? Mr. Clarence, hello. Parker, and sorry I jumped over here and missed your comment. I had to scroll down. Good morning. Dole Ministries, good morning. Bruce, thank you for watching my other video. I did just respond to you, and thank you. The vacation was okay. It wasn't bad. I mean, the bed was kind of made my back hurt. But besides that, it was okay. Not complaining. Darius, good morning. Reverend Leroy, hello. Creator for Fun, hello. I also just responded to your message as well, too. Comment, that is. Mr. Clarence, I know your pain. Frustrating they announced a new product. Did they announce something new again? Let's see what they got. Like they announced their PTZ cameras that at a reasonable price, and I have not been able to get one. I've been on their wait list for that. Their regular PTZ was $1,800, but they now have another one that's only $300. I'm looking forward to getting that because I'm probably going to put that in an install if I can get my hands on one. Francisco, hey, good morning. Total Life Church, good morning. Akon, good morning. Darlene, hello, good morning. Mike, hello, hello. And let's see. Love the name. Straight Foolishness TV. Hello, hello. Interesting name. Hopefully you don't act up on me. XX Not Virus. Hello. Brian, what is going on? Christchurch United Methodist. Hello. Good morning. Stephen, good morning. MA16V3, what's up? I got a rant coming your way. It's going to be interesting. Lee Ray Santiago, hello. Lady Blaze, hello, hello. Elder Rob, hello, hello. HS Audio, how you doing? Richard, good morning. G. Albert, good morning. Dean Green, good morning. All right, folks. So before I get started, please know the easiest way is for y'all to go ahead and if you have a question, go ahead and put a Q in front of it. That way it is easy for me to tell when y'all have questions. And why is my monitor going out? Hold on a second. My monitor that shows me the status of the live stream was flickering, and it's probably because of these cheap adapters. It didn't provide enough power to the monitor. Anyway, started off with your question with a Q. That way it jumps out, and then I'll be able to help with that. So real quick, we got a few things I want to holler at y'all. Let me get my display right. So first off, if you like all of our emissionary gear and all this other stuff, you can go to emissionarygear.com to get that. All the proceeds of that go to help pay for all the giveaways that we do. Also, want to give a shout out to your team. Know that you can email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Make the subject my media team. Send us a picture of your media team and your ministry so we can shout them out here because everybody's doing some great stuff and we want to give a big shout out for that. Also, thank you so much for those who bought my book. It is available on Amazon. You can use the QR code. We still have a few that we can get autographed. If you want them, you can go to AJaytheCEO.com and get it there, and then I'll autograph it and send it to you as well. I didn't get a chance to do this, but I want to give a big shout out to all of the teachers that were able to participate in the eMissionary Conference and those who attended. I hope y'all got a good information. It was great information from all the teachers. And just know, all those videos are uploaded to YouTube, but we don't release them. We're going to be releasing them in November to all of the Patreon and YouTube members. Then it's going to be available to everybody else January of 2025. That's just what we said. We were going to release it. So again, big shout out. A little concerning on the next one, I want to give y'all a heads up about. Still looking for details on a resort for June 16th through the 20th for the eMissionary group vacation. Still working on that. It's going to be in Florida. We moved it from Texas. It's going to be in Florida. We're trying to find somewhere. Now, the bad news, potential bad news, is this. The eMissionary cruise is the week later. This is possibly may get canceled. Because of the discount code that we had, we have to secure 8 rooms to keep that group rate going. I was able to put that down to lock down 8 rooms, but if we don't have a deposit for 7 more rooms, that whole thing goes away. So the cutoff time for that, all the information is in the Facebook group, but the cutoff time for that is August 28th. If we don't have a total of 8 rooms, they're going to release that. The discount prices, all that stuff is going to go away. So if you want to be a part of that, we had fun last year. If you want to be a part of that, go ahead and go to the Facebook group, get the information. It is only $100 deposit for each person and double occupancy, so that's 200 for that. That money don't go to me. It goes directly to Royal Caribbean. I don't benefit nothing. The only benefit that actually happened is because I've gone on so many cruises, I'm able to get it at a lower rate. And if anybody joins the cruise, they put a $50 credit for each person for each room. So that because of that, it's really a benefit to anybody who wants to go. So want to just really call that out. And hopefully y'all don't miss it. We had fun, and that's kind of like another vacation, pretty much, and that's about it. But anyway, I think that's enough blabbing. Let's go ahead and fire away at some questions. And I answered this already in the comments, but I'll call it out if y'all didn't see that. Lamar wants to know, do you know if two Decklink mini monitor HDs can be placed in a computer at the same time and are compatible with Easy Worship 7? Yes, you can put two. I just built a computer for 31st Street Baptist Church, and it looks like they turned the computer off, so I can't remote in. But the one I just did at 31st Street has two Decklink mini monitors in it. So yes, it can work with that. You can put as many as the computer that can support it. Now, Easy Worship does not talk to the Decklink, so Easy Worship 7 will not work with that, unfortunately. The Decklinks only work with programs that can talk to it. So to my knowledge, that's OBS, obviously DaVinci Resolve, because that's the people who make the Decklink, ProPresenter, and I think some of the like video editing programs work with that as well too. So that's what will work with that. Which reminds me, quick announcement, not announcement, but want to give you an update on some things that have happened. And I'll go backwards first. Let me shrink this screen so y'all can see. So officially, and I got the update today, DaVinci Resolve 19 is out of beta, and it is official. All of the videos that you've seen today that were uploaded, this is now done in DaVinci Resolve 19. It is free. I do have the studio version that came with the camera that I'm using right now, but I've been using DaVinci Resolve since 12. Great software. That's what I use for all of that. Jump on that if you do realize you do need to have a fairly decent computer to run this. Doesn't have to be super top of the line, but if you have a GPU on there that can play video games, this will be a good thing for you. So that was official. Also, what has changed right before I went on vacation, ProPresenter now has a monthly and yearly license. So I have renewed mine. So it is now for each seat with ProPresenter, it is $28 a month. At first, I didn't want to think about doing that, but I can cancel this at any time. So just let you know, they have moved to that. So let's see. If I go to Renewed Vision here, just so y'all can see, if we go to ProPresenter, so you can subscribe to it. And I wanted to show the information about it. Yeah, pricing, that's what I meant. So I thought it was 28, but it's $29 a month for a standard license. If you have a campus license, so you can have multiple, 20 seats, that's $60, $59 a month. The trial, you can do a free trial for 2 weeks. And if you want to save, you can go to the yearly, and it's $289 a year for a license for one seat. So just calling that out as well, too. Again, I renewed mine because I sat on mine for like 2 years. But anyway, all right, let's jump to the next question y'all got here. Total Life Church. How do you wire multiple PTZ Actually, wait a minute. Did I skip a message? Yes, I did. I'm sorry. Dole Ministries. I missed yours, and I actually had set up so I can do this. Can you demonstrate how to terminate SDI cables? Yes, I will. Let me switch over here so that I can actually do that. I need to turn off my auto tracking so this other camera will work. Why is that not working? Come on now. All right, hold on one second. Let's switch this around and we'll try and do this. Yep. Press the wrong button. See, it's staring over here. I'm sorry, I'm trying to turn my wireless on so you can hear me. All right, so let's go over here and make some SDI cables. All right, and I don't know why my tracking is not working. Hold on. All right, so when it comes to making an SDI cable, you need to have, and why did my light go off? Like I go on vacation and then all my equipment don't want to work. My light wasn't working. So when you use SDI cables, you need to use a cable that's labeled as RG6. You can get this in bulk. I normally buy this in bulk from Amazon. You can get it from Lowe's, Home Depot, something like that. But it's RG6. And on the box, it actually says it needs to be 75 ohm. It says that. You just got to be careful of that. So the tools that I use is a cable crimper here that actually still has a piece left in there. My Klein crimper here, that's got cutters if you need to. And then I also use these Klein compression ends. And this is actually for another project. I got to go back to Abundant Life, and there was a lightning strike, and then two of the cables got damaged. So I have to pull some new SDI cables over the roof this time and fix something and get a brand new ATEM because their ATEM got damaged from the lightning strike. The surge protector did what it was supposed to do, and it saved all the other equipment, but a couple of the jacks got messed up, so we have to replace the whole thing. And it is super hot, like the air didn't turn on or something. Hold on one second. Hey Google, set the temperature to 72 degrees. Google don't want to listen. All right, so with this crimper, it actually has a little cut here that makes the depth fit there where it needs to. So we'll crimp it in there, push it down, and let me punch this in a little bit so that y'all can see a little bit better. So we'll crimp it in. I don't know if you can see it in here. It has a little piece. Ow. So it has a piece in here that will, how far the cable will go in. It cuts it exactly the way it needs to. So let's slide that back in there. All right, so we're just gonna put our cable in there, push down, we just twist it a few times, and it will cut off the insulation exactly the way it needs to, if I can get it in focus right there. And we'll just do the same thing on the other side. And man, I think my AC just went off because I am sweating like a hostage right now. And it was like 111 degrees in Miami when I came back. So we got our two ends right there. And these are lined up. It has a hole inside of here that will line up with the copper. Just slide that in there and make sure the insulation is off here. So you got bare copper. Slide that in, and it has a little window so you can see that the insulation goes all the way in. I do that on both sides. and it can't go any further, don't push it too far, but you want the insulation to go all the way up in that hole. Then we just do our crimp. Then it clicks, and this little piece gets pushed in. And that's it. Now you have your own SDI cable. Really simple. I'll put a link to all of this here in a second, but that's pretty much it. I hope that helped you. Now let me turn this off, and we'll go back to this microphone. I hope that helped. And hopefully, yeah, my audio was still good. So y'all should still be able to hear and everything like that. So I'll put a link to all of that stuff as best as I can. I thought I just linked that for somebody. That was Dominic who asked about that. Let me see. Trying to get it all for you. So again, sorry for the stalling here. And that's going to be BNC crimper. That's what. And it has a little bundle here. I will put a link to that. Just know that the BNC adapters for SDI cables, that is a different one. I will put a link to that as well. So that is the Klein crimper. That is what I'm putting here. And then we'll do BNC connectors. And actually, it reminds me, I need to order some more of these. I think I did. That would be SDI BNC connectors. And I think my spelling is off, so pardon me for that. All right, there you go. So I just sent that out. So hopefully that helps you. Let's see. Page 2. Back to Total Life Church. Your question was, how do we wire multiple PTZ cameras using the RS485 to a joystick? And let's see, RS485, for those that don't know about that, one of the easiest ways I would say, RS485 is kind of similar to RS232, which is the original type of connector. It's like a 9-pin connector for joysticks. So it was something like this. But the way this would work, the easiest way I personally think it would work is you can't necessarily daisy chain them like in the traditional way. But what I would probably say is you need to build a network where they jump to each other. I need to actually go through and do this because, I mean, I might need to circle back with you on this one for an easier way to explain this because I have it in my head and I'm like just sounding it in my head sounds way more complicated than it needs to be. So I might have to circle back with you, Total Life Church, for that. But traditionally, you want to make a network to all of these like hop to each other. So it would be like one connection would go from the joystick to the PTZ, then that PTZ to another one, and vice versa. I believe it would work the same way. All right, so this is a better picture. So like this one kind of gives you the idea of how it would work. So it would be on one protocol and it would just jump to each other. So it's like I need to make a video for it because it just sounds too complicated, me trying to explain that. So be on the lookout. I will work on doing something to hopefully answer that and demonstrate it better for you. Darlene, go ahead. X32 producer, no sound on live stream or from computer. I tried dedicating the on card from your video, still no sound. This happens all of a sudden. Also having a hard time updating firmware. All right. Now, I don't have a board right now to demonstrate that. So you said you're not getting any sound on the live stream. So are you pulling sound also from the board over USB? And are you sending computer audio over to USB too? Let me know that, and then I can kind of steer that in a direction and try and help with that. Reverend Leroy, what would be your choice for overhead shots? A PTZ, Panasonic V7 58, a Makos Mini SDI camera, and why? Well, I've circled through all of them personally myself. Right now, as you see right here, I am using the PTZ because it gives me more flexibility. I can zoom in and out, and I can use my current joystick to control it. The Makos works fine if you're always like if you were doing art or something like that, or a craft or baking, and you don't have to zoom in. The Makos or the camcorder would work. The Makos would actually be easy because it'll be a cheaper price, and you just set it at the distance of what you needed to capture. Like you can use that for a baptismal pool or whatever, but overhead, that would work great because you don't need to zoom in, and you're not going to be doing a whole lot of dynamic moving away from the lens and where it's in focus. And there's no autofocus on that. If you want to have that same features but autofocus, the camcorder will be the best of both worlds, but you're going to have to either reach up and adjust it, zoom in, out, or use the remote if it has one. So if I had my choice, the Panasonic is the more flexible one because it has everything that you need built in with the autofocus, the zoom, all this other stuff like that. From a cost, the Makos SDI is the cheapest one, and then just because of my current setup, if you already have a joystick, the PTZ is actually easier. So that would be my reasoning for all of those. Akon from London, what are your thoughts about buying a mini LC 32 gigabyte DDR RAM, 1 terabyte SSD i9? Stay away from Intel. That's the first thing I would say. Intel has been having a lot of problems with their chips, but for live streaming for multiple platforms and using it to connect to 3 external displays, personally, I think that's too much. I would not have it go to do live streaming and do other stuff like that. Is it just using the external monitors for just mimicking what's going to the live stream? Or is it going to be doing something else and live stream? Let me know. And then also the follow-up question, what monitor do you suggest for a best investment, 100 to 200 pounds? I need to look for something for that. But again, I'm not really particular with any type of monitor. Most of the monitors I get now have speakers built in just for it to save on cost. A lot of these mobile monitors like I use those just because they're under $100, they're in that range of what you're looking for. It has sound, they're portable, they're about like the size of a large iPad. That's what I personally use. But if you need a monitor that's going to be stationary, find anything that meets your specs, honestly. I use the Spectras. They're good, and they're like under $120 for a 27-inch. So that's what I normally use. Straight Foolishness TV wants to know, how do I take live calls in OBS for my podcast? Well, what I did with mine is I use Google Voice. Google Voice and I use my mic connected to my computer. Like when I used to do this, I'm not going to do it now because I'm not set up to do it. But I have Google Voice that's in a web page that is using my mic and my speakers for me to talk to the person on the phone and accept calls through my web browser. In OBS, if you're already capturing your audio, it will just capture the audio, or you can do an audio capture. I did a video that talks about that, how to capture the audio that's coming into your computer. And if you use Google Voice, then they'll be able to hear when somebody's talking through the browser, and if you have your microphone. That is the easiest way to do that. And that's how I do that when I used to take calls. And like I said, I normally would do that now, but I'm just not in a place to set that up right now. And I might need to do a video talking about that. But right now, I do it through the same way. I'm going through my Rodecaster, but it's the same setup. Back to Akon. how do I activate my viewfinder for my camera? When I look through it, it's black, and can I use the viewfinder when it's connected wirelessly to the ATEM? That all depends on the type of camera. Some cameras, when you connect it, let me go back. It depends on the camera. So when I had my Nikon, when I connected it to my ATEM, the viewfinder went off because that was inherent to the camera. You can't change that. Now, other cameras, if you set it to like my camcorder, my Sony does the same thing. If I have my Sony camcorder set to 4K to record in 4K, it will not output to the viewfinder and HDMI at the same time. If I switch it to 1080p, it will. It's inherent to the camera, so it's kind of hard for me to say will it or won't it work, because that's inherent to the actual device. I have two that one will work. My Sony EV10 does work with the viewfinder and vice versa. It does work with both. My older one and my Nikon that I had would not. So it all depends on the type of camera that you have. It has nothing to do with the ATEM or the wireless HDMI. It's all dependent on how the camera is set up to output everything. Let's see. And another follow-up for you is, I am currently debating whether we should switch from OBS to vMix. What are your thoughts? vMix is good if you have the power to handle it. vMix needs a little bit more power than OBS, and it has a lot of features that OBS can use, but you need plugins, but vMix has a lot of it built in. I do this live stream with vMix. I still use OBS, but when I do all of the stuff like the graphics that you're seeing right here and all this other stuff, that can be done in OBS, but this is built into vMix. So it's just really pretty much a choice. I would say download it, use the free one, the trial version for it, and see how you like it, and then make your decision from there. Because the version I'm using that has all the connections, that's like $300 some for that. The regular one that only allows you 4 connections is $60, and I used that originally, but I quickly used up more connections, so I had to go to that next version. Total Life Church. I'm using Restream to stream Bible study. I am using the Restream Studio. How do I get Bible verses on it? You need to capture with Restream. Let me see. So if you are using the Restream Studio, and I'm going into mine so I can actually show you the same thing. So I need to allow my mic and camera. I am going to use my action camera. Hold on one second. I'm trying to set the stuff up because it's showing too many settings, and I don't want to show all of that. All right, so I'm here in the studio. I'm using my Osmo action right here, and I don't need to mirror it. Ooh, excuse me. And all right, I think that is it. So if you're trying to come in here and do this, what you need to do is, and where's it at? You need to capture a screen. So you would do a screen share to it. So like I have ProPresenter here. So, and I'm actually showing something, but that's going out. That is going out on the deck link. I don't think that's going to be able to be shared. Give me 1 second. So I need to redo. I need to change my ProPresenter so I can actually output something. So give me a half a second to make a quick change with my screens. With the screens, whenever they want to open up for me. Thank you, ProPresenter, for finally pulling that up. screens, screen configuration. All right, so I need to set a monitor so that y'all can see. So I am going to set that to... All right, I'll set it to this one, just so y'all can see it. All right, so I am outputting right now. And so now we need to... Come on, close. I don't know why ProPresenter is being really slow right now. But we need to share a screen. So now that you got it, and let's bring up a scripture here. Sorry, ProPresenter is hanging on me. All right, so if I bring up an image, and we're going to bring up a scripture. Let's do Psalms 23. And we're going to do full screen for our scripture. So I have scripture up right now. So I need to share that screen. And if you looked at my video talking about the headless HDMI, that might be an option if you don't have a secondary monitor to do this. But we're going to capture the entire screen, and I'm going to select the screen that I'm outputting to. And now, if you want to share this, I would have this set up, and then now I would want to turn that on, and then that's how people will see it. That's how you would share that inside of Restream. All right. Hopefully that helps you. And you just you need to have another monitor to be able to support it. And then you capture it and you send it over to Restream, which is really the same way that you do it in OBS or anything else. And kind of like what I'm doing right now. So hopefully that helps you. And let me turn that off so I can get back here. And I need to set my screen back. So that everything is working for me. There we go. All right. And ProPresenter is taking its time to close. All right. Lee Ray, that all depends. What is the mic going to be used for? I'm asking what's the best wireless microphone for your church? Are you talking about for a preacher, for singing? What's kind of the, what is it going to be used for? And then I can help steer the direction of that question. I was just there when they rerouted me from Chicago. I didn't do that video because I'm waiting for my trip to Chicago. That was a long video. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to be heading back up there once I get all this other stuff straight. MA16V3. 2 weeks ago, lightning struck and took out our router, switch, and a port on the S16 2 weeks ago. AJ went on vacation. Coincidence. I didn't do it. And actually, hold on. I had this mic still on. Let me turn this off. All right. So I had this in my pocket. So let me turn that off. And this. And while I'm fixing this, folks, if you don't mind, please go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't already, we got 63 people watching with only 18 likes. It's only a little thing that helps. It helps the YouTube algorithm push the video out to other people. So I greatly appreciate it if you would do that. And thank you so much. Dean, your thoughts on mixing prosumer cameras and PTZ cameras, HDMI and SDI in one setup? Can this work successfully? Yes, you're actually seeing it. That's how mine is set up. I originally started with a Sony camcorder. Then I added a PTZ. Now I have a cinema camera with PTZs. And they were mix and match. Some were SDI, some were HDMI. It all depends. I like to get. I don't really go top of the line, just because I didn't have the budget. Thankfully, I was blessed enough to save up to get my studio camera, Blackmagic, because I wanted that one for so long. So it took me some years to save up for that. That was at the time, it was a $1,400 camera. That was the most expensive camera that I ever had. And you can mix and match with them. So it all depends, especially with a good camcorder, prosumer camcorder. The color science is good, and you can dial it in to match. And some of the PTZs work as well too. And the other question is, so again, I've used that setup with a bunch of churches as well too that didn't have PTZs when they were still expensive, and they mix and match with camcorders, DSLRs, and PTZs. So yes, they can work. And how do we address the possible lag differences between them? I have not experienced any lag between them. The only time I've seen lag is if you try to introduce like a wireless HDMI or something like that, or if you're sending the feed over your network. All of my setup has been SDI or HDMI, and I don't have any. I've never had to adjust for any lag issues. Let's see. Total Life Church again. How do you put the name and comment and picture on the screen when you're saying hello? That is built into vMix. That is vMix Social that talks about all of that stuff, and I'm not sharing that screen. Let me see. I think I no, that's 3. Hold on one second. All right, so I have my other ATEM set up so that you can see. So this is my streaming system that's running right beside me. And if I minimize this, and I need to install this, this is vMix Social. This is what is sending all the graphics and all this other stuff that you can see. So if I go to the page right now, it is pulling up the comments, and I just click this, and then it engages with vMix. So what page am I on? This is page 3. So I'm going to try and get to your comments so I can show you exactly how that works. So, all right, it's not on that page. I'm going to your other comment. Was that it? No, I just did that one. Let me go to your other question here. And I am obviously on the wrong page. Hold on. I'm trying to find your comment here. All right, so this is your question. So I click this, and inside of vMix, when I click that, vMix Social will trigger an overlay number 3, and it will use this graphic, which is on Social 14. So if I go here, and if I go to Social 14, that is this graphic right here. It will take the comment that vMix Social is capturing, put it inside this, engage overlay number 3 so that you can see everything. So if I do it now, if I go back to this page and I engage your comment, I click on it, I want to send it, and it calls this up. That's all built into vMix. That is what I'm doing right now when I do this stuff. So as you can see, the comments are right here. This is what I'm doing, and I'm clicking on this, and it engages the comments for you to show up. And that's all done inside of vMix Social. So that's why what I was saying when Akon was asking, should he go from OBS to vMix? This is one of the benefits that I like with vMix that is built in. You can do all of that in OBS. In my earlier videos when I used to do this, my live stream, I did it all through OBS. Which can be done, but the fact that they have it so much easier, it's a button press once it's set up, that's why I do it that way. So very straightforward. Yes, sir. Yeah, I just talked about that. I just updated it, and actually, I don't want to kick it off right there because that's doing the live stream. But yes, I have used the last 2 videos I just posted, and you haven't seen the second one because I haven't finished editing. I mean, the YouTube description, but the last 2 have been done with that. Mark, hello from Ghana. Thank you for joining. Shane and Hannah, how y'all doing? Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So, MA16V3, here comes the rant. So, I don't know if anybody is watching this who I may be referring to. I think, and I'm going to make this into a podcast. I've been promising to do this. I just haven't had a chance to do it. Again, I know I'm speaking to the choir when I say this. So maybe I might make this as a short so that y'all can use it, but I'll probably say use the podcast. Y'all know, some of y'all know that I've been a minister of music and been playing ever since I was 6. And that's what I used to do. And I understand the complexities of music ministry. With getting a bunch of volunteers to work together, some people who can sing good, some people that can't sing good, but they have a willing spirit, and that's what you do. You are able to mix and match people, pair them with their strengths, and get a harmonious sound as best as you possibly can. A lot of us are not professional singers, professional musicians, all this other stuff, but any good coach needs to be able to push people to go to the next level and be realistic. If you have somebody who is struggling to run, 100 feet, as a good coach, would you lie to them and tell them that they should enter a 27-mile marathon? Now, people might get offended when you tell them that. Like, but coach, I have a heart for it. I know you have a heart for it, but right now your skill level is not at that. One of the difficult things from a media ministry standpoint, and I had to do this yesterday, and I don't think it was received very well, is from a media ministry standpoint from sound. I want y'all to put why in the chat if I'm telling the truth, and if you know this to be true. The sound engineer, when you're balancing sound in the church, it is to make sure that everything is level. Somebody isn't dominating, isn't blowing out. You don't have horn player blowing out everybody, or organ keyboard blowing out somebody singing over the entire choir. When you have that audio mixer, it's to level everybody out. Now, sometimes everybody has in their choir somebody who's singing sharp or flat, and they're dominating over top of everybody. What do? You bring that person down so that they're not dominating, so they're mixed. That's a role of the media ministry and the audio. And to be honest, if it's so out of control, what do? You mute them, or you pull them completely down so you can't hear it because it's not making a harmonious sound. I had to tell some people that because people got mad of getting upset like, AJ, why can't I be heard on the live stream? And, if y'all know me personally, I don't say anything to try and attack people and to hurt anybody, but I'm tired of dancing around issues and try to, make people feel nice and giving them a lie instead of telling them the truth. So what I blatantly said was like, hey, instead of y'all getting mad at the media, you want to know why it was cut out? It's because it sounded like trash. Oh my God, AJ, it's true. Like, who would want to listen to your live stream and please prepare your ears, if my audio was, it just sounded like that and it was just noise? Nobody would want to listen to that. And a lot of times we dance around issues instead of telling people the truth. Could I have been a little bit more PC with that? Yeah, I probably could. But if you've said it 20 times and people didn't do it, I'm sorry, my frustration kicked in and I just said it. So again, yes, a lot of people get mad. It's not, the media ministry's role is not to just baby you and put a Band-Aid on you and say that you're doing a good job when you sound like trash. That's not the role. The role of the media ministry, and when it comes to an audio capacity, is to make sure that the sound is right for whoever, the musicians in the choir, so they can hear themselves well. Is it good for whoever's preaching, that they can hear as well? Is it sounds harmonious for the congregation? And then is it good for the recording, and is good for the live stream? And all of those are never going to sound the same. And People don't understand that. And the reason why people don't understand that is because you ain't in the daggone media ministry. People are so quick to try and say, well, you should do it like this. You know what I did? And we had a shirt. I need to bring the shirt back. Before you complain, volunteer. Everybody who can it is so easy for anybody to tell us in the media ministry, tell you how you should do your job when you have not a clue what it takes to do it. And I tell everybody, it's like when I cut you from the mix, it ain't personal. You could have an off day. There have been days I've had strep throat and I'm still recovering from it, and my voice is not the way it needs to be. Do I get mad that, oh, y'all turned me down? I'm used to being able to belt out. I physically cannot do it. So instead of babying me and appeasing me because I want to hear me, I'm not contributing to the sound. So the media ministry's responsibility is to level it and at an extreme, cut the mic, cut the instrument if it is a problem. How many times have y'all seen a pastor or somebody say, hey, kill that person's mic, shut that mic off? It ain't personal. It's like it sounds bad. So anyway, that's my mini rant. That happened the other day. I had to tell that, and some people didn't like how I said it, and people got in their feelings or whatever, but whatever. It's like, I think, rant number 2. One of the problems that I feel with church in general is no one is being taught how to find their ministry. Again, coach, anybody who's taught anything where you have to coach somebody, you know this is true. People have a passion for it, but the skill set is not there. And you're doing people a disservice telling them that they're a good singer, telling them they're a good musician, telling them they're a good usher when they have horrible people skills. That is not a benefit of the ministry. Or another tip, don't let anybody in your media ministry run the audio when they're tone deaf. Like, there needs to be a certain set of skills, and people can learn new skills. But if you're not willing to learn and you want to stay there and you're not effective and you're not willing to learn more, then you're doing a detriment to the ministry and yourself. And churches in general need to teach people how to find what their calling is and tactfully point people in a ministry if the ministry they're in does not fit their skill set. If you ain't got people skills, you don't need to be in hospitality. You can be in it if you're willing to work to improve those skills. Like, y'all are here to improve whatever y'all have in media. Anyway, I've rambled enough. But thank y'all. Thank y'all for saying that. Some other people just don't get that. People think I'm trying to be a jerk, and I'm like, it's not. I'm a person growing up. My dad was a pastor. I used to sit in church meetings all the time, and people would glorify the problem for so long. You ever had that in the testimony service? I just want to give honor to God, who's the head of my life in the household of this, and he woke me up on the side of the bed with a right spirit in my mind, blah, blah, blah. And they just talk about, well, God, I had the gout. I had this. I didn't pay my bills. I lost my car. I did this. And they spend so much time glorifying the problem, and then they're like, but God. Or you go to a church meeting, they talk about why we can't do anything. We don't have the money. I'm the person that sits in there. It's like, instead of y'all talking about the problem, let's solve it. Well, we don't have the money. I'll donate the money. So now we can talk about the problem and we can move forward. So many churches and people in general, they focus on a problem and they sit there, they pitch a tent, and it's like they love the attention of crap going on in their life. How about fix it and move on? That's enough. I've done enough. That's me coming out of vacation. Because I just Anyway, what's the next one? We already answered that. Richard. Our ministry is expanding, and we're placing TVs in some of the hallways. What is the best device we can use for video distribution? Well, it depends. What are you going to distribute? Is it going to be the actual service? Is it going to be something else? I do have a unified display cast. That's another video that I did before I went on vacation. I need to edit that so you can see that. Is it for digital signage? Are you trying to show the sanctuary, the service? Are you trying to show the same thing that goes to the live stream? Are you trying to show announcements? Let me know, and then we can steer that question for you. Dean, What are your thoughts on mixing pro? Oh, I think I already answered that. Philip Paul, hello, hello. Activated Blaze. If this Impox thing takes ministries back online, what is your advice or setup considerations if ministries haven't taken advantage of lessons from 2020? Any new tech? I might be missing. Oh, the I see. I don't watch the news like that, so I guess it's a virus or something like that. You're talking about. I, I'm not going to go into rant number 3, but let me rephrase that. Repeat what you just said. Aprendo repetir. I'm learning Spanish too. So, if this Impox thing takes ministries back online, what is your advice or setup considerations if ministries hadn't taken advantage of the lessons from 2020? There's a parable in the Bible that talks about some foolish people who did not prepare when the bridegroom came. Some people got just enough to get by. Other people got stuff to prepare for the future. What I would say is forget the PC. Don't be stupid and make the same mistake that you did last time in people in general. Get the cameras, get the equipment, it's so many different video switches. That's the other video switcher. I got the other one from OC Go that I need to do that video for. There's so many different devices. Get them now so that you have a backup. Because what happened last time with COVID, people waited to the last minute and then stuff started shooting up in prices because they just thought they had all the time in the world. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. Be prepared. That's what it's all about. My videos are meant to try and prepare you for what you're doing right now and coming in the future. And all I can say is the meanest way is if churches fall back and fall for the same crap that they did in 2020, they didn't learn their lesson. And what I say, what the Bible say, take another lap around the mountain. And you're not going to learn metaphorically, until people die off, meaning that mindset of we got plenty of time. That's what I would say. Jerry, how do I connect an NDI camera to the ATEM? You can't. Do I still need a control cable and a video cable? You need to have a device that's going to bridge. So Bird Dog and a couple other people make a device that captures NDI and turns it into a physical connection. So if you want to connect an NDI camera to the ATEM, you need to get one of these devices. Hold on, let me look it up. Let me see if I can find one. All right, so something like this. I think this is one. So a small but yet powerful Bird Dogs Play is a 4K NDI player. So this one, this would pick up an NDI feed and then it outputs HDMI and then you would connect it to the ATEM. You would need something like that if you wanted to connect NDI. I don't work for Blackmagic. I don't work for New Tech, but I highly doubt anytime soon ATEM is going to support NDI because that's their competitor and they would have to pay a license for that. So that's my assumption. If you want to use NDI, you need to have some type of device that bridges the gap from NDI and turns it into a physical one so that the physical one connects to the ATEM. MA16V3, have you looked at Free Show? Yes, I have. And Presenter Pro going sub is almost certainly going to make us move. And so far, Free Show is the only one that seems to be close to the feature set. Yeah, I've played around with it. Not recently, probably last year, somebody brought it to my attention. But I will look into that as well, too. But thank you for that. And that is kind of an issue. I mean, everybody's moving to a SaaS model right now, software as a service. And from a business standpoint, I mean, hey, instead of paying a lump sum that you get once a year, now you've made it to where your clients have to pay you monthly. It's a good business decision, to be quite honest. But business mindset and employee mindset, consumer mindset is not the same. So, Philip Paul, hey, Jay, we've been using an analog mixer for a long time. If we upgraded to a digital mixer, will it be difficult to learn? No. The concept is still the same. The difference between the digital mixer and the analog are the features that a digital mixer would bring that are not even tied to an analog at all. So, depending on the mixer, controlling it from a different device, a phone, tablet, something like that, being able to digitally switch what input and output in the routing. With an analog board, you physically have to connect it, but with a digital mixer, you can change it. So, but in running it, it's honestly the same. It's the setup and extra features. So reading through that wouldn't be an issue. Let's see. And the second part of your question was may upgrade to a minus MR18 XR12. I was looking at an XR12 to go for X32 or compact is over our budget. Understood. I was looking at the XR12 to be a part of my mobile setup for streaming. I was looking at that. Rob, have you installed any Unified Access Ultra Door Access Unit? No, because it came out, just like Mr. Clarence, it came out after I installed it. The install that I'm actually going to be doing at First United Methodist in Elgin is going to be using those Ultras. For anybody who did not know the differences, and I finished doing the magnetic door at Gates of Faith as well, too. I finished that right when I got back. So for anyone who's looking at the door access, so that's the Ultra, and these are the readers. So when you use the reader, the way it's set up, you need to have a hub for it to connect to. And then the hub also controls the locks and all this other stuff. The Ultra fixes this because it can go Ethernet cable directly to the Ultra, and then the Ultra provides the power to the lock and stuff like that. I don't know if it will work with a magnetic lock, but I think it will. But that's how it will control, and it removes the need of a hub. So really looking forward to getting that, and that is what I have slated to do. Let me see. I'm going to see if I can show y'all kind of a heads up of the humongous project with First United Methodist Church in Elgin. So this is the design that's going with them. That's floor one. We're doing cameras, and honestly, Mr. Clarence, if the PTZs come in place, these two are going to be, each corner is going to be replaced with a PTZ on the corners. That's the first floor. Then that's the second floor. And then that is the basement. We're going to be doing the intercom, door access, and like you said, here is the Ultras right there that are going to be for the doors and stuff like that. So this is a humongous project. In a good way. So that is a video that I'm working on. But yes, I will be using those for this install, except for the intercom, because the intercom actually needs to have a hub. See, I'm sorry. I meant to actually, I didn't mean to do that, but yeah. Creative for fun. I'm looking at the M2. I got mine too, waiting to see your review. Yeah, they sent me another one because I had an issue with mine. So this is, you see, it's still sealed. I got it literally right before I went on vacation. So I'm going to redo that whole video with this. I'll probably do it tomorrow and get this stuff. I got a backlog of videos I need to get through. Really good device. And actually, the price is $129. I actually have that, but the this one won't talk to the Nest Hub. They already had Nest Hubs here in the house that I'm renting, so that was easier for me to do it that way. My favorite thing that happens when cutting SDI is when a thin layer of insulation remains. Yep. Do you ever solder your coax connections? That's how I used to make these back in the Marines. We had to make all of them. We had to solder them. We had to put another cup in there, solder that, do the insulation, wrap it over, then put the container. That was a pain, and I'm glad I don't have to do it that way. I still know how to, I just don't want to. Back to MA16V3. Fun life hack. An RG6 cable that is stripped is just the right size to press factory default switches. Yeah, I've used that as well too. Richard, what do you think of the Famaco AI tracking camera PTZ optics, PTZ camera 20X? Well, that is actually that camera. So I think it's really good. I don't have the AI turned on. I'll do it here in a second. I don't know why all of my cameras won't let me log into them. I did just change out my switch. I actually have a Unify Pro 24 switch, and I changed that out last night. I don't know why I'm not able to log into stuff. I might have to work on that. We have to work on that. So let me see. The next question. All right, so Darlene, you were saying that you're using the A10 Mini. All right, so what's your workflow? You were saying that you don't have any audio. Let me go back to your first comment. You're saying using a producer, no sound on the live stream or from the computer. I tried to dedicating on the card from the video, still no sound. Just happened all of a sudden. So what I would probably say, if it happened all of a sudden, I would make sure go to your computer and if you're on Windows, hit Windows X and then go to Device Manager. And when that comes up, scroll all the way down to your universal controllers. Go through each one of these, go to Properties, and make sure it's the hubs and stuff like that. Go make sure Power Management, this is unchecked. It could be that it's gone to sleep, because if it was working, then all of a sudden something changed. I would do that first. If you're still having an issue after that, then might need to see something else that could be the problem with that. Let me see where I left off at. Eric, hey, good morning to you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Back to Total Life Church. If I have a joystick controller, can I mix protocols? For example, can I have two cameras for RS485 and then one on RS422? That's more of a connection. So that's not really the protocol. The protocol is going to be more of like Visca, Pelco, those. And if your joystick has multiple connections, then yes. So like my joystick, I'm using Visca over IP. That's what the Ethernet. But then I also have a RS232 connection right here, and this is actually a tally. So I can mix different connections on this joystick, and it will work. You just have to tell when you link it up in the joystick, you tell it which connection that you're actually using. But if you're using different protocols, most joysticks can support that as well. So it could say, hey, I'm using on VIF for this control, for this camera. I'm using Visca for this one. I'm using Pelco for this one. Yes. But that's more, what you're saying is more for a physical connection. And if you have those physical connections, it should work. But again, I don't know the exact controller that you have, but technically it should. All right, let's go to our next one here. So, Akon, you were saying that the system, the mini PC that you were looking is meant to mimic that. Theoretically, yes, that system should be fine to do that. I don't know why my mouse is going slow. Ezekiel. When streaming from the UI24R through OBS, audio is stable on certain devices. I think I answered this one. Devices like the iPhone. Macs, however, distorting on Android devices on the very same YouTube stream. What could be the issue? This is the easiest thing that I would say. If OBS, YouTube, Facebook, well, everything that's on the computer side, if you're sending out your live stream and the audio sounds perfectly fine on like a computer or something like that, there's nothing in your control that is causing that issue. There's nothing in an OBS plugin or anything like that that's causing an issue. Not even Facebook or YouTube. That's normally a device. The easiest way for me is if you have an audio issue, that would be for everyone. So most likely it is something that's on YouTube's side or the device, but can you confirm it's for every Android device that anybody has, or is it just a one-off? Because I had a similar issue where somebody was complaining that the audio was bad and it was just that person. I'm sorry, I'm looking around. I just got a hangnail and this thing is hurting. I was looking for my clipper so I can cut this off. But if you have an audio issue like that, I would verify if it's actually happening to all Android devices. Most likely it's a one-off. If it's a one-off and it's not happening to everyone, then that's something that's kind of audio control. Alex, thank you so much for joining us on your time off. I really appreciate that. Again, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to kick off y'all's systems, folks. Normally, I have mine set to only do my voice in here because my daughter used to do that, and then I had to change it so it only listens for my voice. But and sorry, I didn't get what you meant with my first question regarding whether it would be a good enough. I was saying it would, as long as it's not doing, like, in other words, if you were using that system to handle your live stream and run presentation software, no, I would not recommend that. If it's using OBS to live stream and the same program OBS is outputting to those other monitors, it's doing the same task, then yes, that should be fine. Bert, and I really need this fingernail clipper. Hold on a second. I'm going to use my 3D printer stuff to cut it because that's the closest thing I got. Yay, that worked. All right. I'm trying to run a 100-foot HDMI to Ethernet connector from a dongle off my iPad to a TV, but I didn't see anything. I tried to replace the cable with the standard HDMI and it worked. Any thoughts? It's most likely that when I've used that with an iPad, the adapter, the dongle that you need, most likely needs power, and it's not producing enough power to go over that adapter. That has been my experience. Again, I don't know the exact one that you've used, but anytime I've used my iPad with a dongle, I had to provide power to the dongle to give enough power to go over that. That's kind of like what I did at Good Shepherd. I don't know if they ever even used it, but that's what I've always had to do in my setup. But a regular HDMI cable, I think, is pulling power directly in the sense. I know it's a power issue. That's what I would think. Hintley. Hey, AJ, is it possible to turn a Canon Rebel T7 into a live stream camera? Technically, yes, if it allows you to have HDMI out. I personally wouldn't use it because it's going to overheat after a certain period of time, but yes. Back to Lee, Ray Santiago is asking about a good wireless. What I would look into is the Phoenix Pro or the GTD Audio. I got a bunch of those that I actually have to install at the church. I've used them for quite a lot, and they're very, very reasonably priced as well, too. So, like, for example, as you can see, I've ordered a bunch of these over time. These are the adjustable signals. These are the fixed ones. and these work very well. If you are in an environment with a bunch of wireless ones and you need to change their channels, then you need to invest in one that has you can change the frequency, adjustable channels to where they're going on. Those are ones right there, and then the Phoenix Pro ones. This is the big set that I literally just bought to replace some mics that I'm going to be installing next week at a church. You can use those. And these are fixed channels. And again, very, very good mics. These are actually of metal compared to the GTD audio. Like I just donated because I ordered the wrong mics for this church that I'm doing. So the ones that I had were 4-channel ones, and I actually gave them to Antioch because I think they broke. Somebody accidentally broke 2 of the mics, so I replaced them for there. So I've used them at quite a few places. Definitely Dree. For Pro Presenter, how do you add a timer countdown for stage display for pastor in church to know how much time is left? That is very, very simple. First, you need to design your page, the screen. And if Pro Presenter will move over, I can show you. All right. So inside of here, you're going to go to screens and you're going to go to edit layouts. And this is going to be for your stage display. So in here, you can make a different design. So I'm going to just make one from scratch. So you make a new one, and you can use templates if you want. And the template actually has what you have on here. So, but I'm going to make it from blank from here. So say you have nothing here. We're going to add a text field. I'll just do text. And I'm doing it the long way on purpose. So say we have this big text field, and you can set the size, set the font size to as big as you want. Say I want that to scale text up to fill up everything. And then I want to assign that text to something else. So I'm going to assign it to a timer. So I can say I have a timer called live stream start. So that shows the time. And then in here, I don't want to show hours. I don't want to show frames. And I just have minutes and seconds. So that's how you can do that. And then give it a name. I'll just say test. So that's what I call it, right? And now you have your screen, and now you need to assign it to what screen you want. So if I have this as countdown timer, I can assign it to that new one called test. And that's what's being outputted. So if I start my live stream counter, like I have it set, let's actually change it, countdown to a time, and let's count it down to 12 p.m. So I'm going to stop it, reset it. So now it's counting down to that time, right? So now let's open up my NDI monitor, because that's an NDI screen that I just set up. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go to, and there's the timer that I just set. So that screen is set to that layout. That's how you would do that. So, and it's just as easy to assign that to something else. So if I change that layout to a different layout, a default one, and see, there you go. So if I go to a scripture or something like that, and I go to the scripture and then I go back to the scene, see, it does that, but then my countdown is super, super small. So I actually need to crank that up. So let's go back and let's edit that look. So see right here, that's super small. So I want to text up to both of those so we can actually see it. Let's see, did I make it bigger? It says timer. Oh, it must be pointing to a different timer. Hold on, let me do that. Fix that. Yeah, it's going to a timer I'm not using. So let's point that to the live stream timer. So now it will actually show, because we were looking at a timer that wasn't on. So it's all in the layout of how you want to do it in Pro Presenter. So I hope that helps. Yeah. See, I knew y'all would get me, so I appreciate that. I'm trying. See, people don't know the struggles when it comes to doing the media. And if somebody switches to a different mic, then I just mute that one too. I just do that. I'm not a DJ. I can't fix it in the mix. Exactly. There are many members in the body, and people don't realize different ministries are not battling each other, but they need to be able to harmoniously work together. And sometimes you got to cut it. That's how it is. Just like the same way, the pastor is the head, and y'all might have spent all week preparing for this song, but the Spirit comes in and the pastor's like, no, we're not doing that song. We're going right into the word. Do you get mad and start arguing with the pastor? Some people do, and they're stupid for doing that. But the idea is you do the best that you can. Like I had to tell other people, they're quick to be like, well, this ministry should do this. What I think you should do is this. You need to sit down and shut up and be master of your ministry. If you want to tell everybody else in another ministry what to do, quit your current ministry, then join that ministry. Then you can say whatever you want to, and then you'll probably realize, oh, dang, I didn't even know what I was talking about. So many people are so quick. I remember somebody said this statement a long time ago. Fixing me is a full-time job. I don't have enough time to take a part-time job trying to fix you. It's so easy to point your finger at everybody else. Master you. Master what you're doing before you go out and tell everybody what to do. The only reason I tell people what to do is because I'm hired to be a consultant, to tell people what to do. If no one asks me for my advice, that's a criticism. If I don't criticize anybody and tell anybody anything if somebody hasn't asked for it. So anyway, that's just me. We just spend so much time coddling people when coddling hasn't helped move the ministry forward. It hasn't brought more people in. It hasn't shared the message with anybody else. All it has done is appeased and pampered your ego, which hasn't done anything. Anyway, turn them up in the monitor and down everywhere else. That's the reason why I installed that sound system. I have it turned up in their ears, but it don't go nowhere else. No, God says, sing to him, make a joyful noise unto the Lord. But everybody on the live stream, they don't want to hear noise, whether it's joyful or hateful. Been a player, Sam. Would you recommend a mini PC to run Easy Worship Pro Presenter alongside the computer for handling the streaming computers, or is something more powerful necessary? Well, a mini PC will work. Pro Presenter is going to be kind of an issue because you're going to be limited on how many outputs. Well, any of them is going. The mini PC is going to be limited on how many outputs is supported. But I always recommend having multiple systems, one handling the streaming, one handling the presentation, because if one goes down and they're both running the same thing, you've lost everything. Just like here, I'm using my computer here, but the computer over here, you ain't see me touch it because it's handling nothing but the live stream, and the one over here is handling nothing but the live stream. That one over there is going to the live stream that's going into my website and Twitch and other stuff like that. And then the one, like I said, if I can get the right number, this one is handling everything that you're seeing right now with vMix and all this other stuff, and it doesn't do anything else. Can the computer I'm in front of, is it fast enough to do it? Yeah, it can. But if this system went down, guess what? You won't see me because it would kill the whole live stream. So that's kind of like everything there. Wow, that's wild. Everyone that has breath shouldn't not praise the Lord in the mic. I mean, it says we need to be skillful in our gifts, and you're giving teachers, preachers, you're giving people to train. Again, how evil would you be to tell and I'm not saying this to be mean and demoralizing. I'm trying to be realistic. What mean, nasty person would be somebody who needs to have crutches or they need a wheelchair to get around because whatever has happened, to tell them that they can physically get up out their wheelchair and run a 27-mile marathon and build it up in their mind and hype them up that physically they can't do something. That's evil. That's mean. You don't tell anybody that. Like, if you know somebody that sings horribly, it sings off pitch, and you hype them up that they are the best thing since sliced bread and encourage them to go on America's Got Talent, and they go out there and then they get embarrassed, what have you done to their spirit? What have you done to their countenance? It's like people would rather be appeased and felt good with a lie than being hurt with the truth. That's actually going to move them forward. I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing that just frustrates me to no end about church stuff. Like, just because you're in the church does not mean that you can't be reprimanded. Just because you're a Christian and you're in church does not mean that you're above somebody saying that you're wrong on something. Like, I've had people tell me, AJ, you're wrong in this. I'm not offended. I'm like, thank you. Now I've learned something. Now I can grow. I can be better. But if you just want to be complacent and just have people pat your ego and tell you you're the best singer, you sound better than Mariah Carey, and you sound like a rat that's going into a garbage disposal, fine. I mean, that's what you want to be. I'd rather tell you the truth. Before you complain, volunteer. Say it again for the people in the front and the back. I don't, man, it's so, my dad said a long time ago, one of the hardest things is to be a pastor because you have to work with a bunch of people and stuff like that, which is true. I say the next hardest thing is to be in music ministry because you have to get a whole bunch of people to work together, musicians, choirs, and you can't fire nobody. And then I think the next one after that is media because you got to get all of them to deal with it. So, What did you just post on Facebook? The rant? And thank you, Bruce. Study to show thyself approved. No one is a final product. There's always something else to learn. When you stopped learning, you have immediately gone backwards. As long as the earth shall remain, there's always going to be seed time and harvest. There's always going to be moving forward or automatically go backwards. When you stop learning, you immediately go backwards. If you don't start progressing and moving forward, taking ground, keep moving forward, you immediately, automatically, whether you like to or not, always go backwards. That means for everything. Like, if you stop playing, if you stop studying, if you stop singing, if you stop working, if you stop doing anything, just because you were in computers 20 years ago and you have not messed with computers since then, you have fallen backwards. And anybody that's in church telling you opposite of that, they're lying to you. And I think the church is too busy lying to people and not telling people the truth that's going to move them forward, but they just want to keep numbers in the church. I'm sorry. Yes, I did say it. Not trying to be a jerk, but it's y'all funny. Like, y'all are funny. Bruce, our church has a survey assessment that shows their gift ministry that they should be in. I mean, I think more people need to do that. I mean, because that's how you move everybody forward. We're all giving gifts and talents, but again, I'm using me because it's easier for me to talk about me. I'm not the greatest musician in the world. I'm not the greatest singer. Never, ever would I profess that I am. I still think that I'm subpar, to be quite honest. And I'm always trying to learn something new. But I did the best that I could in music, and I gave my best. And I had to say this. And y'all, anybody that works knows it's true. You can give your best, and don't let anybody tear you down if you've given your best. If you've given your best, that's all you can do. But how many of y'all know it's true that you've given your best at work and you can still get let go? It just means you gave your best, but your best does not meet the needs in this area. It's not a personal thing, but everybody is like I think so many people in church, they're so quick to be offended and they don't actually see, like, ooh, why is AJ saying this? Is he doing this just to make me feel bad? No, I'm telling you so that you can learn from the window that you're missing. Just like y'all are here. I'm not saying this stuff to make you feel bad. I'm telling you because you asked me so that you can move better and go past the block that you have. But the people who get offended normally, they're too busy into their feelings and they're not into what can I learn from this situation. So I don't know. Back to Richard. For digital signage and possible live stream. So depending on how far away, you can use HDMI out with HDMI splitters and go to each one. Or if it's very long distance, over 300 feet, you can go to SDI cables with the same type of thing. You would need to do a SDI to HDMI converter. Excuse me. Also, depending on network, and if you have a good signal, you could get like these mini PCs. You can get some of these mini PCs. This one is only like $120, around the same price as that Bird Dog. And then you can send it over NDI to the TVs, and that could be whatever. So it all depends. You have three options: either over the network, via NDI, HDMI with splitters going distribution, or SDI. That would be the option. So true, AJ. Get the equipment and get educated on how to use it correctly. Tangela, hello, hello. Avunowo, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. God's will. How do you add text on the bottom for sermon during live stream using OBS or worship, Easy Worship? I have a video going over that. So it's kind of the quickest way I would do it. I'm going to use it with Easy Worship. OBS actually has it built in. You can just add text on the bottom of it to do that. So what type of text specifically are you talking about? And I'll circle back to you. Oh, actually, you have another follow. I mean, you said the same thing. How do you add text with background for sermon for lower thirds live stream using OBS? The easiest way for OBS is use the animated lower third that you can plug into OBS, and that does that natively. Or you can send it, and I have a video that shows how to do video over live video, text over live video. I have that on my channel. I will link that. But the quickest way, I'm going to try and do it right now, is like this. So I'm here, animated lower thirds, and I need to turn that dock on. This is the plugin that's already built in. If I turn that on right now, and also let y'all know OBS is a new version. I just updated that. That is actually version 30. Actually, I didn't update on this one. They just did an update. Yeah, it's 30.2.3. So I didn't update this system, but my other system that's live stream right now is using it. But anyway, you have it on here, and you just turn it on, and see, there's my animated lower third right there, and my image is in the wrong location. I need to point that. That's how you would do it with this. And then if you wanted to bring over something through like Presenter or your presentation software, so let's set that up. So if I go here to the Bible, let me change this into a lower third configuration. This is the exact same way it will work with any software. It doesn't matter which one. I'm going to get rid of the background. Hold on. I'm pressing the wrong thing. So we got this with no background. And that is number... I need to send this over NDI so I can do this. So let's change this. Go to our scenes, our screen, excuse me. And I need to make a new scene. I'm just going to use this with NDI because this is just the fastest way for me to do this. Yes, I'm going to reassign it. And I am sending that over to there. All right, so we're sending it now. So inside of here, we're going to add an NDI source. I don't know why everything keeps putting it over to that screen. I need to find that screen that I just did. That's ProPresenter 7. And there it is. But now we need to remove that. We're going to put a filter on it. I hate that it keeps putting it on the wrong screen. We're going to put a color key on here. And we're going to do a color key. We're going to select the color that we want to remove. Select color, select from screen, get rid of that black. And there you go. That's how we would do it. And now this is driven by ProPresenter, Easy Worship, whatever. It doesn't matter. So if I change this, there you go. There's how the scriptures are being changed, handled by your presentation software. That's the same way if I had it done in Presenter Worship Tools. I used NDI, but you could just capture the screen. It would be the same way. So hopefully that helps ya. Let's see what else we got here. Aaron was saying, I found out current ProPresenter Plus subscribers are locked into the old price for 2 years and will not have to pay full subscription price. Anyone new has to pay. Thank you for that update. Tammy wants to know, what causes a loud sizzling noise in the sound system when I move a BNC cable? It causes one or three of the mics to make the noise and it is loud. It is most likely a connection issue and it might be loose. If it's the BNC, are you moving the cable that's connected to the antennas? It could be that it's loose, and that's probably what's causing that. That's just my assumption. You are welcome. HS Audio. Hey, AJ, I have the AVCAN's 20X NDI HX3 with AI. When I turn on the AI tracking, the camera points to the floor. I've tried to set the tracking range, but no success. Any ideas? I don't have an AVCAN's one to play exactly with that setting. There's a setting in there because that's the one that I installed. I installed that one at Gloucester, Virginia. It's a setting in there. I can't recall it right now. I need to circle back with that one for you. Mike, I picked up the 20X AI for Mako, and I'm working on the companion module. Awesome. Keep us updated with that, Mike. Appreciate that. It's possible, but if you're jiggling the cable, I think it's losing a connection and then hitting back. That's what's causing that issue. That's what I'm thinking. What PC do I need to live stream with? That's kind of an open-ended question, but my recommendation would be a system that has 6 to 8 or more CPU cores. Memory doesn't really matter. It depends on the operating system. I would say 16 or 32 gigs now because it's cheaper or higher. Get something with a GPU so that the GPU is used for encoding. And that all depends on what software that you're live streaming with. That's what would be my recommendations for that. And most of the time, you can't buy something you could buy something from a store, but that most of the time they don't give you everything that you need. So let's take a gander over here to let's do Amazon. And I'm going to just say gaming PC. So let's see. Intel 4-core, no. That's not enough. That's overpriced. i5, no. I'm going to stick with AMD. So this one would be good from a specs wise. But let's drop down to this one. This one will work too. I've actually used this case and all this stuff. So let's look at this one. It is Ryzen 5 5600X. Let's look at that. Let's look at the details for that system. I mean, that processor. Get out of here, cookies. So this is 6-core, 12 threads, so 12 cores for the most part. So that's more than enough to handle that. It also comes with a RTX 3060. That is a dedicated NVIDIA card. That is more than enough to handle your live stream. And it has 16 gigs in memory. So that this is a good system to go there to get you more than what you need to live stream with that. So I'll put a link to that. Or personally, at that same price, that's what I build streaming systems for. So if I go over here, and I have to be mindful of the time because I actually got to go hang a TV at a church here in a little bit. But if we go over here and we go to my stuff, so we have the same specs. I actually put 32 gigs of memory in here and bigger hard drive and stuff like that. Same specs to get you that same live streaming stuff. So you have your choice of that. Streets of Destiny, Brother Art, how you doing, sir? Workflow X32 via USB to computer. On the computer, OBS. On Facebook, using virtual camera for video. And X32 1 to 2 for audio in. Sound is low in live stream. How do I fix? First thing, why are you, if you're sending it to OBS, why are you using virtual camera in there? And then you're saying you're sending audio 1 and 2 for audio in. X32 1 and 2 for audio in. Okay, that's coming in. Sound is low for the live stream. How do I fix it? So the audio from USB, what is the USB routed to? Is USB routed to a separate mix, or is the USB audio coming from the X32 mimicking your main sound? Let me know, and then that can help steer me from there. Back to Alex. I realized that one way to get full sounding volume on a live stream in OBS is by applying those two filters on the audio device. Cool, thanks for that. Sometimes I do a boost. It all depends there. Stretch. I have a set of 4 wireless mics. Is there something on the market that can purchase to get them to work? I mean, what do you mean by work? Like you just have the receivers? Or, I mean, the transmitters, the handheld mics, and you need a receiver? You need a little bit more detail for that. Team RHO, great to see you. I haven't seen you there in a minute. Happy to see you are still cooking on YouTube, helping folks. Hey, I do the best that I can. Not perfect, but, hey, we do the best we can. Rhonda, I really like the GTD audio mics for the price. The one feature I don't like is if you lock the handset, you can't turn them on and off or mute. Situation I started is to lock them in control from the mixer. Good tip there. Akon, thanks for answering my question. One last thing. Would I not be able to handle both recordings, live stream, and potential PowerPoint from some extra room for multitasking using Google? I mean, you could. I mean, anything is possible. You just have to set up the workflow to do it. But yes, it is possible. Turbin James, have you installed the OCGo Stream Deck software controller? No, I have not. I haven't messed with that one yet. According to some people, the media ministry is the appendix. Yeah, the appendix that people forgot about what it's purpose for and think they don't need it until it's actually gone. So I think it's way more than an appendix. But I've had some people, unfortunately, dealt with that I know personally. They got rid of their media ministry because they knew better, and the ministry is suffering because they thought the media ministry just handled the live stream, and they don't need the live stream. And then now, oh, y'all actually control the audio? You actually control the cameras? It is so easy for people to say what is not needed when they're not a part of it. That's why I have an issue sometimes when you recommend, the media ministry recommended we need this piece of device, and then somebody who's not in the ministry says y'all don't need it. I'm like, dude, do you even know what this is? How can you say what's not needed when you don't even know what this is? I don't. That's why you. Do you go to a plumber when you need to have your tooth filled? Do you go to a heart surgeon when you need to have your car's engine changed? Do you go to a mechanic that works on gasoline cars when I need to have the copper wires re-pulled and retwisted on this electric motor? No, we have certain skill sets, and you ask people who are knowledgeable in that area for their input. Like I say this about my mom. My mom was a nurse for 30 some odd years. I said, Mom, do I go to you asking you how to fly a plane? No. Do I go to you on how to do an IV? Yes, because you are skilled in it and you would know the right thing to say. A lot of people don't know their place and they want to have to be the center of attention, and you're steering people into a mountain and you don't know how to fly. Stay in your lane. We have skills for a reason. You don't need to be the go-to for everything. Like I don't understand why people need to be the center of attention and want to be the know-it-all. I mean, if you knew everything, then somebody's not needed. Philip Paul, AJ, does digital mixer have the features to delay audio? That all depends on the mixer that you pick. I mean, all of them don't come with the same features. They probably do, but I don't know. You need to give me a specific one so I would know. Would you help me download the OC Go Stream software? I mean, I don't know how to help you with that. I mean, you're saying the streaming software? You need to be a little bit more specific with that. I mean, there's not, to my knowledge, unless they've came out with something new, there is no OC Go Stream software. It's that they calling good evil and evil good, even little stuff. Just had this convo. I mean, it's crazy. Do you recommend any particular laptop or tower that's affordable to just run easy worship? I mean, the main thing is not the power to do that. The main thing is how many outputs that you need. That's going to cost you more for that. But to run easy worship, typically, just like with the live stream, a Ryzen 5 that has 6 cores, 12 threads and higher is going to be more than enough to run that. And then 16 gigs of memory would be more than enough to run easy worship. And then a 1 terabyte drive for storage and stuff like that. The main thing is how many outputs you're going to need. That's going to be dependent on the graphics card that goes in. That's what's going to add more money to that. So a system that does that, I mean, you can get away with a system that costs $300 that will run everything that you need. Even one of these mini PCs that I use, that would be fine, but you're only limited to 2 outputs. You got the main one that people are going to look at, and then you got one more output. If you need more than that, that's where it's going to be problematic. Now we have motivation speakers with the title of Pastor's 5-year. Look, I ain't trying to go down that rant, but y'all know what it's craziness. Hey, AJ, so I built my first PC. Congratulations. Using your recent video on the church presentation PC Ryzen 5 8600G. Thank you for your help. God bless you. I'm glad it helped you. Awesome. Very much so. People don't want to volunteer for nothing, even when they have a gift. I mean, see, that's the thing. I mean, I don't want to. I think that a lot of people don't volunteer is because it's been a stank aroma in the ministry. I know a lot of people that want to sing and they can sing, but they don't want to sing because of some rotting meat, some rottingness is associated with the ministry, and they're like, they want to maintain their spirit because they realize if they go into it, it's gonna that filth might get on them. And I'm using nice words. I'm not calling anybody filthy, but it's like y'all know there's some ministries that there are people in there that are so antagonistic that it's like, I know I want to use my gift, but I just can't be in that hostile environment. Like, for example, I know I have a gift with teaching, but I can use these skills in the wrong way, and I could probably be very, very profitable with it. But I don't want to go in that avenue because that nastiness would get on me. I could use streaming a whole bunch of bad content if I really wanted to. That could be very easy. But I don't want to associate myself with that because it's bad for me, to where my moral compass is. I don't want to do that. So again, I think it's two-sided. Yeah, it's some people that don't want to volunteer, but also it could be that people don't want to volunteer because they don't like the environment that they would have to go into to volunteer. So that's why, as leaders and anybody that's in media ministry, you want to be able to help and contribute, and you're not bringing down the ministry, not just with your skills. Do you have a bad attitude? And does anybody even want to be around that? So that's other things we really, really, really need to be mindful of. And to be quite honest, the church has a problem with, the people in the church have a problem with, they are so quick to be offended. And they're getting their feelings hurt when they're like, are we trying to hurt your feelings, or are we just trying to tell you the truth? And it's nothing the matter with being honest. Honesty doesn't have to be brutal. So if somebody said, I just need to be brutally honest, you don't have to be brutally honest. Just be honest. Hello, hello. Can you show me again what you use to reduce shaking on a PTZ camera on the wall? Sure. That is, and I'm actually trying to design something myself when I have some free time to do that. But what I do for this is washing machine stabilizers. What I've used is it's a square one. I got them in a box in the garage. What I use is I put this stabilizer between the camera and the mount, and then the mount and the wall. So something like this that I can screw into. So I would have this cushion against the mount and the wall where it's done. And then I use a camera stabilizer that goes in between that. So something like a gimbal, but it goes, I think the one that I'm using, they don't even make anymore. It looks kind of like just this end piece right here. So this piece right here screws onto the bottom of the mount, and then the camera goes on the top, and it uses those springs to absorb that. That's what I used. The one that I use, and it didn't cost that much. The one that I use is not available anymore. Let me see if I can go to my orders and see. Yeah, it's not even showing up in my history anymore, so I don't know. But that's what I used in there, so it's, interesting. Reverend Leroy, Barry to school us. The reasons there are so few people going into jails, prisons, foreign ministry work, there's no coddling. There's no coddling people, because following instructions can mean life or death. Even then, you have those to do it their way. Yeah, there has to be a standard that goes with stuff, and people don't like it. And going back, I read about a shepherd in Middle East who had a sheep that always did the opposite. In the time the sheep had lambs, because the mother lamb began to install the hard-headedness in the lambs, the shepherd had to end the mother sheep's life. Food for thought. I mean, if you don't get, like somebody told me a long time ago, arsenic is poisonous. It'll kill you. And if you take that straight, that's going to be something bad. That's like if you have one nasty person in a ministry, it can ruin everything. But how do you solve it? If you put that arsenic in enough water, it will dilute it, and then it won't be that issue. Meaning that if you have somebody nasty, but you surround them with people with good intentions and stuff like that, with a good moral compass, you got that. Yes, that stuff will be there, but you, instead of having one person spouting all this negative, and you got a whole lot of other people, they got a right mindset with that. Now that person who's spouting that negative is actually either gonna have to change, or they're gonna get pushed out, because you don't have a platform just for you to just spout off your negative and be nasty. That's why you see sometimes pastors have had to let ministers of music go, had to let different people go, because that negativeness was infectious and was bringing the entire ministry down. Any ministry is going to fall apart if you don't have a spirit of, I want to learn. If you have this entitlement that I know everything and nobody can't tell me anything, that is the initial signs that that ministry is going down quickly, or it's going to die off, because you're not getting in any new people to come in and try and help, because that attitude is just pushing everybody away. I played a video on my laptop plug on the OC Stream Go stream by HDMI to StreamYard, the sound, which is not great. How do I fix that? Well, I mean, I need some context. If there's a way that you can email me a sample of that so I can get an idea, so I can know exactly what you're talking about, it doesn't sound great. Back to Aaron. AJ, tip when you set up lower thirds and ProPresenter 7, enable the alpha key and it will allow you to use any colors. Awesome. Thank you for that tip. Stretch wants to know, is there a Bluetooth device that will work on any Bluetooth mic? Technically, I would use the Altos. I need to actually order one of these. I've installed these a couple of times at churches. These Bluetooth receivers, I've used these. The Alto makes them also. That's the one I've used. I might actually get one of these here, but you can use this. And I've installed this at a couple of places so that it can connect to your phone or whatever, any type of Bluetooth device, and it plugs into your mixer. So yes, that would work, but that would be a one-off. You can't connect multiple ones to this, but that should work for there. And I'll put a link down below, and I guess I need to order one of these. I'll order one so I can have one to play with and give y'all a test. And I'll actually be here tomorrow at 4 a.m. So yes, we placed that order. And this is the X-Vive Bluetooth adapter. So I literally just ordered it, so I'll do a review on it as well too. I've used them before, but I thought I did a review on one of those. G. Albert, can you please recap what you said earlier about NDI not being allowed to interact with the ATEM? NDI is made by a company that is competitive to Blackmagic Design. It is my assumption that Blackmagic does not. To use NDI, you have to pay a license. So they would have to pay a license to their competitor for NDI to be worked with ATEM. So I don't believe Blackmagic is going to natively support NDI. What you would do is get a device like the Bird Dog player that can receive or read that NDI feed and then outputs it over HDMI. Then you connect that to the ATEM. That's how an NDI device would actually work. Tammy, it is, I need to take it down. Technically, you could still buy, if you want to get it early, you could still go to the MediaMinistryMentor.com and buy a ticket there. I think I took it down. I might make that available. If you really, really want to get it early, you can do it that way. It's going to be released, like I said, around December, November on YouTube for that. So just wanted to get some more time. So if you really, really wanted to do it, you could go to Media Ministry. Let me see if it's actually up. I can't remember if I took it down or not. You go to Media Ministry Mentor, you click there, and then you could watch the replays. I'm logged in, so you would have to register. And if you sign up here, then you can get access to all the replays. So $100 that goes towards all the giveaways that we do. But if you really, really wanted to, it's all there. If not, just wait till November and then they'll be released from there. So like if I show you the behind the scenes to it, let's see. So it's 25 videos, and we got the conference roundtable. That second one, I don't think I released because that one was gonna be that one's a little spicy. But we got the purpose, the conference, worship tools presenter, making sermon clips, audio engineering for the church, the biblical importance of media, the anatomy of a church live stream, documenting your media ministry, ministry volunteer, the expectations, bit focus by Mike, social media marketing and copywriting, live streaming with Ecamm Live. That's with Monty, using Audacity with your ministry, choosing the best tech for you, second day kickoff, the purpose day 2, developing a resiliency mindset, biblical DNA of effective leader, casting the nets on the other side. That's by Elder Rob. He did 2 sessions of that. That's day 2. Cyber safety for your ministry, developing resilient mind. I think I uploaded that twice. Yes, I did. So I need to remove that. What leadership should know about media ministry, and I Have a Dream. That was a prophetic word by Rosalind West. So a bunch of good stuff out there, and I think I might be missing a couple of them. I haven't pushed everything there, but that's where you get there. Last couple of ones, because I'm running short on time. I need to get across town and be there by 1. So we got 15 more minutes, and I'm going to shut it down. Thank you. Just want to say thank you. I really learned a lot from you. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Dean, I'm using the Thor mod broadcast to add 10 TVs from my ATEM television. I've used that as well, too. Good device. I forgot about that. So trying to remember who asked that. That is another option as well. And then you can add as many as you want to, because then you can just use regular coax cable and it shows up like a channel. They have a RG6 only. The TVs that are close to the sanctuary will have a delay. Yeah, and that's what I noted when I did a review on that. That's good for broadcasting as long as the TVs are not near the live sound, because it is going to be a delay because of the compression. And you were saying, is there a better way to broadcast? I'm sure I'm going over 300 feet. NDI would be the other one. Then after that, you could go to HD Base T that uses Cat 6 cable, but that can go 500 feet. It's a completely different protocol, but that will work. That sends power, audio, and video. And I've used that as well, too. That could work. Philip Paul. Is it okay if I connect a second XR2 to a Midas MR18 to get more inputs? I have not personally done that, but I mean, technically that could work, but then you are running 2 mixers, I believe. That's going to probably give you a little bit more work, but technically, yes. Lalero 13. I need a device where I can turn the front projector black or off, but still be able to see the back projector. I need a device where I can turn the front projector black or off, but still be able to do that. I mean, how is it connected? I mean, is it mimicking the exact same thing? I mean, and what type of projector are you using? I already answered that. I actually have a video going over that. I would look up trying to find the video so I can let you know. videos, sort. That video is display, text and video and scripture. That video is here. I'm going to put that in the chat. That's the one that will answer that question for you. There's a group that is trying to do pilot for streaming to see if they want to continue. Could you suggest a basic setup, a simple one for live streaming? It'd be the first time. I mean, honestly, if you really want to do live streaming, the easiest way is just get a phone or a tablet and use it that way. If you really want to do anything else, you could just get one of these $9 capture cards, USB capture cards, and get whatever type of camera, plug it into your laptop, and go Facebook or YouTube directly. And that's the easiest way. That's the simplest setup to do that. All right, that one I'm not going to answer because I don't know. Patrick, I'm using a Blackmagic SDI capture card with 3 cameras. Only one camera will come up. Not sure what I do. You said using SDI capture card. Are you using the Decklink mini recorder or are you using the Decklink Duo? Let me know which one. All right, some of them I can't answer because I don't know. Let me finish up these last ones. Last page, and then we're going to shut it down, folks. Creative for Fun, thank you for that. For the people who are asking for the OC Go stuff, you need to go to the OC Facebook group to get that information. Thank you for that. That's the beauty of the group. Yes, it is. You need to, if you're going to Facebook or if you're going to YouTube, so like I'll just use me for example. If I go, and actually I'm actually already doing that right now. Yes, leave, go to my page. So if I go here right now, and I go to the video that we're watching right now, I could go here, go to share, and I could go to embed. You would copy this code and put it on your webpage. That's how it would go. That's the same way how I am doing this right now. So if I scroll down here, that's how I embedded this into my web page right now. So the same way it works with Facebook. They have an embed code that you have to copy and you paste that. Just know for Facebook and YouTube, you're going to have to do that because they change the code every time and the URL inside of that changes. So you need to update that. But besides that, it is very simple to do. I'm going to power through all of these real quick. All right, I already answered that one. Derek, I've been at my church around a year. I went from volunteering once doing sound to every Sunday doing sound, audio, video, and live, and photoshopping lower thirds. My lady says I spend a bunch of time doing this and that I should get paid, such as musicians. The media ministry is full of volunteers, but apparently I take it more serious than most. Thoughts? I understand. Out of all the time, I never got paid for media. Never. When I started working at Signs and Wonders, they actually gave me a stipend every Sunday for doing that. And then I stopped accepting it because I got so busy. I wasn't going around. So I wasn't doing that anymore. Antioch originally, when COVID happened and they didn't have anybody, they hired my company. And I ended up just recruiting some of the kids that graduated, and I just paid them as an internship to do that. They continued that. Now, me personally, the skills that are needed deserve to be paid, but at the same time, I understand. Just like with musicians, it's a skill set that is needed. Not everybody has it. Can anybody do it? Yes, they can if they decide to put the time into it, but most people don't. That's why I don't have thousands of people watching these videos right now, because it takes a certain person that wants to get better with their stuff. So do I think media ministry should be compensated for what they do? Yes, I think they should, because if you took those same skills outside of the church, you would be paid for it. And I think that's another, I ain't even going to open that can of worms right now, but that's another thing that churches, and I actually did a podcast on it, the churches feel entitled that they think that because it's the church, they should get stuff for free. Now, let me put it this way. I do what I do unto the Lord, not unto a person, a ministry, or a church. That's one thing. And I played as a musician for years and never got paid. From when 13 until I was 27, I was never paid for what I did for music. And then when I started playing at Antioch, actually at A Street, when I was coming back from Hampton, let me rephrase that. When I was 23, 10 years I played for free until they started paying me, and they only paid me $30. You drive 4 hours from Hampton back to Lynchburg, and they paid me $30 for that. But I didn't do it for the money. I did it because God blessed me to do it, and then thankfully over years off of dedication, I started getting paid to do the stuff. That's the same way with media. I think that whether the church decides to pay you or not, most of the time you're normally blessed in other areas. You may put seed in one location, but the harvest comes from somewhere else. That's what I've known. I put a lot of work into a lot of stuff that I did at churches places, honestly, if wanted me to be real honest, that I was not appreciated for. But I didn't do it for appreciation. I did it because this was the skill set that God blessed me with, and that's what I did. I was faithful where I was, whether people wanted me to be there or not. And thankfully, I've been blessed by y'all, other people, where I got my compensation from that. So that's why I feel with that. But I understand how you feel. Been there, done that, still there. Rob, yes, we do have a roundtable coming up this Sunday, and we will talk about that. And let me just shut it down because, like I said, it is 12:30, and I got to bolt across town to hang a TV. Last one. What is the best mid-budget camera for a 3-4 hours nonstop church service without overheating? A camcorder, Panasonic V770, going for about $500. A camcorder that is meant for long-term would be the best. You're talking about $400, $500. That's would be my recommendation for that long-time type stuff. That's about it, folks. I'm going to give a big shout out. I have not been able to update this. I've had people who've joined as YouTube members and Patreon supporters. So my apologies for that. But I want to give a big shout out to them. It is people like this that help me do what I do. I don't take sponsorships. I haven't been ever offered a sponsorship, but it's great people like this who help support what I do here by monthly contributions, starting from as low as $1 and up to $30 if they want to. Some people like Mr. Clarence have been here for years, and I thank you so much for their support. If you want to support me, you can go to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO, or you can support me on YouTube by clicking the join button down below. No matter which way you pick, folks, you are helping us train media ministries all over the world. I try to give you the best that I possibly can to help you move forward, because that's what it is. It's not about me trying to reach everybody. It is about me and us reaching everybody. I don't care if you beat me. I'm not in a competition with you. I'm here to compliment you. And that's what I think the church is too busy having a problem with. You're competing with each other instead of complimenting. There's some of y'all, like there's things that Monty does that does better than me. So instead of me trying to compete with him, I'm like, hey, go follow Monty. He has something on that. That's where we lift each other up and we move forward. Because if whatever I do helps you reach 100 to 1 million other people, guess what? The body of Christ wins. It's not about me having more people in my ministry over you. It's about how can we effectively together reach everybody. That's what it's about. So with that being said, if no one's ever told you, thank you for everything that you do, folks. If you weren't doing what you were doing, there would be something missing in your church, in your city, in your state, in your country, in the world. You are called for a purpose, whether people understand it or not. So I want to thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for the hard work. Thank you for the dedication that you're doing, for the tireless study that you're doing, the money that you're spending, helping people that might not appreciate you. I want to tell you I appreciate you. I'm not a part of your church, but guess what? I am in the body of Christ just like you. So thank you for what you're doing. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Y'all have a good day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Make sure you join the Facebook group, folks, because we are going to have a roundtable this Sunday. If you've never been a part of the roundtable, you don't know what you're missing. All the information is on Facebook, and we go from there. So y'all have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you is, and we'll be hollering at y'all on the next video, folks. Later.